Hey everyone, welcome to another interview. Today I am joined by David Woodbury. If you are familiar with the field of Civil War history, that is a name that has to ring for many of you. David has been involved in the field in various ways for decades, I would say. I mean, going back to the 1990s, he was involved with publishing Civil War books with Ted Savas, and more recently, organizes history tours that are largely around Civil War battles, campaigns, and the Indian Wars. But today we're going to talk about a conference that David is organizing in just a couple weeks in Monterey, California, to give you a
Yes,
sort of a sense of what it's about
May
and who will be
1st.
speaking. So, David, great to see you. How you doing?
Thanks. Good, Kevin. It's good to see you again. Um,
Absolutely.
I was just recalling when I first came across you. I think it was one of the early online discussion groups on uh, in
Probably.
CompuServe, probably
Yeah.
in the
Oh man.
late '80s or something. The CompuServe
Oh,
Civil War Forum,
was it really that
and
early?
yeah, and you were a participant in that along with some other early adopters.
Yep.
Brian Pahanka was often online back then.
And then the
Um,
blogging world, right? We both started
right, and
blogging
then
around the same time.
you and Eric Wittenberg
Yeah.
and a few others, and I had a blog going.
Yep. And
Yeah, so that was trailblazing times for
yeah.
us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I mean, I have to say, when you first asked me to take part in last year's conference, my first thought was, "Wow, I'm finally going to have a chance to meet David Woodbury in person."
Yeah,
So that was my first visit to California last year, and I haven't been back since.
that's
And
incredible
so
to
you're
me.
responsible for bringing me back to California for the second time, which I'm really looking forward to. But
Well,
go
you
ahead.
haven't seen much of it yet. It's
I
a pretty
know,
big state, so
I know.
I
But
hope you'll come schedule some vacation time and bring your wife and
yeah, I would
maybe
love
even your
that.
large dog there.
That's probably not going to happen. But the wife is, yeah, I would love that. All right, let's get into this because it's only in a couple weeks. It's from May 1st to the 3rd. It's going to take place in Monterey, California. This is the third conference that you've organized. Again,
Right.
most of your events, history events, are tours, and I'm going to provide links to your website for readers to explore your tours.
Excellent.
They always have a top-notch historian as a guide. They're well attended. You've got a great reputation, so it's important for people to have access to that. It's the best way to learn history, right? On the ground, on site.
I think
Uh,
so. Yeah, there's no substitute for that, for walking the ground.
Absolutely.
You
But
really
go ahead.
get some revelations that way about the topography
Oh,
and timing of things that you
yeah,
just really can't pick up through just for reading or even photographs.
yeah,
But
absolutely. But but now you've got a more formal gathering, and I guess one thing I'm
mhm.
wondering is, why did you make that move a couple years ago? What were you hoping to accomplish? It is a great opportunity for Civil War buffs, those of us who still exist out there.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
it really dates back to those early days uh, for me in California and Ted Savas too. Um, I grew up in Iowa mainly, and went to college in Indiana, and then
Mhm.
moved out here to San Francisco in the early '80s. And though I studied history and Civil War history in college, the Civil War was not a big topic, growing up in Iowa. It was
Yeah,
something that happened far away,
yeah,
and I can't remember the first time. Oh, well, I visited Gettysburg on a family vacation one time, so that's a story that a lot of people tell when
hmm
they first came across a Bruce Catton book or something. But yeah, I was hooked from an early age, and I think in 1988, James McPherson's Battle Cry of
yeah,
Freedom came out, or
yeah.
around that
Around
time,
that time, yeah,
and I devoured that. And then I started looking for Civil War conferences where I could go and listen to the speakers, and
yeah,
that took me to San Diego in the late '80s, where Jerry Russell. I don't know if you ever crossed
yeah.
paths with
Remember the
Jerry.
name?
Yeah, he was kind
Yeah.
of a big deal then. He ran Civil War Roundtable Associates and some other a little bighorn organization, and he hosted conferences that were often anchored by people like Ed Bars and
Hmm.
Bob Younger, his Morningside Press buddy, and so he had one in San Diego, and Jack Davis was the keynote speaker for that. So I went down there and ran into Ted, and he and his wife and my wife Ann and I were the only Northern Californians, and then as it turned out, Iowans as well. Maybe the only people under about 65 or 70, which back then, when we were in our late 20s, um, seemed quite elderly, but not so much now. Um, anyway, we
Yeah.
that was the West Coast Civil War Roundtable Conference, and it kind of was on its last legs then. And Ted and I revitalized it. I like to believe, and with the roundtable that we started in San Jose, and then that Civil War Roundtable Conference took off again for several
Hmm.
years, and then it has slowly kind of petered out again. But this conference I'm doing in Monterey is not intentionally, but is something of a successor to that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to choose a destination location in
Yeah.
California that
Yeah.
people might enjoy going to, and bring the family and a little vacation time as well. It was also something that was drivable from both the main population centers of LA and San Francisco.
Hmm.
So I selected that, and at a different time than the West Coast Conference, but I don't think that's happening anymore. So this has become the de facto
Yeah. Yeah.
West Coast Conference,
Yeah.
and I wanted something that was I could drive to from my own home without getting on an airplane. I live in the Bay Area,
Hmm.
and I just have a lot of fun bringing in some of my favorite historians and
Yeah.
a eclectic group of scholars who wouldn't ordinarily come together
Yeah.
in an academic conference. They're all writing different areas. The last year we settled on seldom heard history
Hmm.
theme as an overall theme,
Yep.
and I've kept that this year and decided that really was a catch-all for so much work that's being done in the Civil
Yeah.
War. Really, almost anything outside of standard campaign histories or
Yeah.
something is fair game for that. And so it's an opportunity for people that are writing monographs that or have written monographs that had their day in the sun for a while, but maybe or forthcoming new publications
Yeah.
to highlight their work with
Yeah.
people, just ordinary students and Civil War buffs and
Yeah.
academics, the whole mixed crowd that we draw there in Monterey.
I would say, David, it's a also a great opportunity for the participants. I mean, it's a small theater. It's a very casual setting.
Hmm.
You have access to the speakers, an opportunity to talk, in the lobby after, the presentations
Yeah,
and the
yeah, I love
Q&A, but
that.
also, lunch, dinner, other opportunities to interact. It's just a great weekend in this incredibly beautiful setting.
Very
It's
intimate setting, and yeah,
yeah,
like you say, there's a lot of opportunity for to engage the presenters and ask questions
yeah,
about their books. There's a book signing,
the
some
book
limited
signing.
book sales, and
Hmm.
yeah, it's a chance. And over the course of the weekend, people really in a small venue like that
Yeah,
get to know each other a little bit.
yeah. I mean,
And
if you love history and if you love sharing ideas, it is really the perfect opportunity. And I've been saying, especially in the wake of COVID, I mean, it really sort of,
yeah,
for at least for me, sort of reinforces just the importance of gathering together and just sharing
hmm,
a common interest. But let's actually get into this because this starts Friday evening, so May 1st. I mean, and we start right off the bat with two speakers. And one of the
great,
things I like, this was true last year, it's true this year. You got a wide range of speakers. You have academics, you have people who are known for both publishing and their history tours. I'm thinking of Gordon Ray, who will, we'll talk about in a second, and a wide range of interests in terms of subject matter. So on Friday night, it starts off at 5:30 with registration and the reception and lobby. At 6:45, Dean Galbraith, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Galbraith, is going
Yes.
to speak. I've never met him. I do have his book
I've not either.
about Sergeant Nicholas Sade, a fascinating
Hmm.
story. He's a Pulitzer Prize winning Dean is reporter. So he's sort
Journalist,
of
yeah.
journalist, moved into writing about the Civil War. Uh, Nicholas Sade actually, was born in Africa, traveled the world, and ended up in the United States during the Civil War and serving in the 55th
Yeah.
Massachusetts, which
Yeah, I
was the
think he
sister
was
regiment of the 54th.
yeah, yeah. I think he was kidnapped and
Yeah,
maybe brought over, but he was also royalty in his home
in his home. Yep,
country.
absolutely right. Yep. So
Yeah,
that gets things started
he
on
became
Friday
a
night.
Union volunteer and
Hmm. And he was with the 55th Mass from in the Carolinas, Georgia, Florida. So it's a fantastic story. And so I've read the
yeah, I'm looking
book.
forward to hearing that. I have not read the book yet.
Yeah, yeah,
Trying to read everything before May 1st, but
that's a lot.
it's a great story. I've read a lot about it,
Yeah,
about that character. And
yeah,
Dean has been enthusiastic about telling this story, so I'm really glad to have him.
yeah. And that's followed by Dave Powell, who I've never met. I've
Right.
never met Dean or Dave. So I'm looking forward to both of these talks. And Dave is also well known in the field. He's written about Chattanooga. I think he's working on a multi-volume history of the Atlanta
Yes.
campaign right now, right?
Very ambitious. Yeah. He
Incredibly
is
ambitious.
maybe the most prolific author that's working right now.
Yeah,
I'm not sure where he gets the time for that, but he kind of made his first splash with a trilogy on Chickamauga, and he's written a whole host of books, and sometimes in conjunction with other authors like Eric Wittenberg. They did
yeah,
something on the Tullahoma campaign.
right.
But yeah, he's right in the midst of the 5 volume history of the Atlanta campaign. He's got 2 of them out, and
Yeah,
a
it's
third. I think
amazing.
the third volume's coming out this fall.
Yeah. These
But
multi-volume campaign studies seem to be quite popular now. I mean, I think
yeah,
Gordon did something, has something to do with that with his what 5 volume
sure,
history of the Overland campaign. But you've got
yeah,
Will Green's. Yeah, he's working on the third volume of his Petersburg trilogy. I guess there are a couple of other examples, but more power to them. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know where they find the energy to do that, but
Really, no single volume can capture the whole story of a campaign, especially those complex
yeah,
multi-month, multi-battle campaigns. But it's an
absolutely.
investment in time and of your family and everything else.
Yeah,
That you really it takes a commitment. So
yeah,
Dave he's gonna also going to talk on the Battle Above the Clouds, Lookout Mountain, which he
that's
did
right.
a single volume on.
On Sunday. Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah,
uh,
that's right. Most of these authors are doing two talks. That's right. So
great.
we should sort of point that out at the get-go. But and then
So
after
Dave's
Dave's, go ahead.
he's talk. Oh yeah, he's doing the Battle Above the Clouds on
Yeah,
Friday,
on
but later
Friday.
he'll deal with Atlanta in his
Yeah.
second talk.
So somehow after 8:30, we'll all go out and party. It's a Friday night, get some dinner, and
Yeah,
then come back Saturday morning by 9 o'clock, right?
yeah.
I'm giving one talk during this conference. And this is, I'll just say real fast, I've been talking about it on the newsletter for quite some time, but it's my current book project on the thousands of enslaved laborers in Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia, specifically during the Gettysburg campaign. So
Fascinating.
we're going to look at the battle through their eyes, to the extent that we can, with the evidence that is available. So I'm looking forward to talking about that. I haven't given too many public talks on this, so we'll see how it goes, but I'm confident it'll go well.
Talk about seldom heard history.
That's right. That's
Maybe
right.
maybe even unheard
That's right.
history.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
right. I'm hoping to change that.
you know.
And
Well, you're
then
making your mark in a lot of different ways,
I'm doing what I
and
can.
one of them is giving voice to the slaves who were impressed into Confederate
Yeah.
service.
Yeah. So then after that, we've got quick turnaround. Then Brooks Simpson. Many people know Brooks
Yes,
Simpson's scholarship when it comes to Ulysses S. Grant, Lincoln, well known in the field. And he's going to
tremendous
talk
scholar.
about tremendous scholar, great sense of humor, and a dynamite speaker. So I'm looking forward to catching up with Brooks. And he's going to talk about Lincoln Grant in the summer of 1864. It'll be a fantastic talk, I'm sure. He's well known for talks in this field, so he'll do a fantastic job. And he's also, let's see, I guess on Sunday, just to sort of jump ahead, he's also going to talk about William Tecumseh Sherman, right?
Hmm.
And Grant, right? I guess their relationship. Um, so that'll be another dynamite talk. So, it'll be great to see
I had
him.
asked a couple of the speakers uh, who had written more than others about Sherman, or who had works that Sherman played an important role in,
Yeah,
to emphasize his role, because he's got a local connection to
right,
Monterey
right,
with having been posted there at the Monterey Presidio,
right.
and along with Halleck and O.C. Ord. Um, and so one of the historic structures there, it's associated with the Monterey State Historic Park, which is where this event is occurring. It's really adjacent to that, and
Hmm.
part of that, which is spread out over Old Monterey.
Yeah.
The city has done so much great preservation work with the old adobes, and uh, maintaining and restoring so many that they have acquired over the years, and they
Hmm.
put plaques outside of them that, for
Oh,
really nice information for walking tours.
great.
But the Sherman's Quarters is one of those adobes that's survived, and it's the subject of numerous paintings over the years,
Yeah.
and such. But we have a local attendee, Dennis Marr, who volunteers to take a group of people
Good.
up on lunchtime, to walk
Good.
up to the Sherman's Quarters.
I was going to ask you about
But
that. Great.
yeah,
Perfect. Yeah. And then of course Gordon will follow Brooks, Gordon Ray. I mean he was there last year, good friend.
and the year
Dynamite
before,
and the year
he'll be the
before.
first three timer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a personal favorite. I
Yeah.
really love Gordon.
Absolutely. And well
Flying
known
in all the way from the Virgin
Virgin
Islands.
Islands, right. That's
It's a
right.
long way.
That's right. Well known for his study of the Overland Campaign, and
Hmm.
that's what he's going to talk about on Saturday, late morning at 11 o'clock. So he's always, no one knows that campaign better than Gordon.
Right.
So,
And
if you
Gordon
ever,
is,
go
to
ahead.
give it that flavor of seldom heard history, he's going to talk about the introduction of U.S. colored troops
Ah,
in the
yeah,
Overland Campaign,
perfect.
which where they saw their first service with the Army of the Potomac,
Right, right.
and that's another short shrifted topic that he wants to shine a light on at this talk. So it won't be just another iteration or a rendition of troop movements in Grant versus Lee, but something a little less known. So
Yeah, that'll
looking
be
forward
great.
to that as well.
Yeah, and he's also going to talk on Sunday morning on Charles Weldon. That was the subject
Yes.
of he wrote one book that's a sort of non-overland campaign. It's a
Yeah.
biography, and the subject is Charles Weldon, and well worth reading. So that'll be another interesting talk as well. Let's see. In the afternoon on Saturday, Leslie Gordon, one of my favorite historians. She has been around for quite some time. Dynamite historian, and she's going to talk
She really
first
is.
First, about her most recent book, Dread Danger, wonderful study, sort of a comparative study of two regiments, the Fire Zouaves. I think it's the Second Texas, and she's
Hmm.
been even her previous book on the 16th Connecticut. She's been looking at the issue of cowardice. She's been taking a kind of non-traditional look at Civil War regiments and Civil War soldiers, trying to get beyond, I guess, what you would refer to as the kind of the heroic model
Hmm.
of soldier life. And she's done a fantastic job with this book. And I think people are going to find this conversation and the book to be just fascinating. So I'm really looking
Brilliant
forward to
idea,
that.
and so overlooked. I'm that book, when I first heard of it, came, really caught my attention because um, it is a new way to look at the same
Mhm.
story that hasn't made it into too many
Yeah,
uh, monographs.
absolutely. Then on Sundays, she's going to talk about wartime Mobile, Alabama. I lived in Mobile for 2 years, so this is going to be
You did.
particularly interesting. I don't know if this is connected to a current research project of hers.
I believe it
Uh,
is. I
oh,
think I
wow.
think it's a long time interest that she's had, and I
Huh.
think in some interview, uh, I believe she's mentioned that she's returned to a project that has
Huh.
always interested her
Well,
about Mobile.
she now teaches in Alabama, so I guess she has easier
Yes,
access to it, and
sure.
that'll be great. I'm looking forward to this. I'm very curious about what she's gonna talk about. And then after Leslie, another friend of mine, Lorian Foote, is going to be speaking.
Oh,
I think a one of the more interesting Civil War historians working today. I think the world of her scholarship. The first talk that she's giving is based on the book by the same name, The Yankee Plague, which is a wonderful sort of analysis of
hmm,
Union POWs in Georgia, I believe it is, who escape out of prisons, and it sort of tracks their
right.
story as they're trying to make their way to Union lines. And she always brings a kind of, well, a non-traditional kind of
Yeah,
analysis to her work. So I'm always interested in listening to Lorien Foote because her work is just so rich in terms of
it is.
interpretation and
It's so
analysis.
tremendous. Um, I don't know how you can't be fascinated with the subject matter that she settles upon.
Yeah,
Um, the the plague of Yankees through the countryside, aided and abetted by enslaved people,
enslaved people, exactly.
who they could not have traversed all that ground otherwise
Yeah,
without a lot of help.
yeah,
And yeah,
yeah,
she's uh, promises to put up a pretty interesting program. I'm looking forward to that.
yeah,
I've not met her before either,
yeah,
but you say you've
yeah,
have
yeah.
you interviewed her on your
I haven't.
podcast?
I've never interviewed her, but I've met her a couple times at conferences and some of her work. In fact, the talk she's giving on Sunday from the book Rights of Retaliation, which is another
Hmm.
fantastic book, I made great use of in my for my biography of
Wow,
Robert Gould Shaw because it deals with some of the things going on
sure.
along the seacoast islands where he was. But in that talk, she's talking about Sherman and I
Hmm.
guess his movements through Georgia and South Carolina. So I'm really looking forward to that talk as well. I mean, you've got a fantastic lineup of scholars here and
And she
historians. So
teaches
this
at
is
Texas A&M.
he's a Texas A&M, exactly. Yeah. So that is, I mean, if remember the fact that we're talking about, except for my participation, my role, two talks, that's 2 complete days of Civil War themed talks. I mean, that is
Hmm.
a healthy dose of the Civil War over 2 days, and that should leave you satisfied for weeks to come. I mean, last year
Yeah,
I remember flying back and having, just so much going on in my mind, thinking about what I heard, conversations. It's a great way of, I mean, as a writer, it's just a great way of keeping the juices flowing, but also for participants, I imagine it's going to spur additional writing. I'm sorry, additional reading through the book sale and
yeah.
things like that, and just
I
kinds of
had
questions, right?
I've gotten great feedback from the presenters themselves who've enjoyed it. I try to make it a comfortable, less stressful environment for them, so they've got one or two talks through the course of the weekend. Most of them participate by they hang out and talk to people and
Yeah,
interact with the group, and but they've got their evenings free, and
yeah,
they can have some time to relax a little bit because
yeah,
it's a packed weekend. But try not to cram too many talks into the days. But you also don't want to stop short when you bring people in from
Yeah,
across the continent. You want
yeah.
to get the most out that you can.
Yep.
Your role as effectively as a master of ceremonies is essential, and a presenter. Uh, the uh, the way that you had your innate skill of tying things together, your absolute mastery of the material, the books, most of which you've read and commented on, um, is indispensable, really, to tie things together on the fly too. I would say. Uh,
No,
so that's a
uh,
it brings a lot to the meeting to have that.
oh, I appreciate that, David. And to be honest, it's really just an honor to be included in this event because, when I look at a list like, what you have, what we've just gone through in terms of who's speaking. I mean, these are people that I've been reading for years now and people I deeply respect. So just to be included in a lineup like this is, incredibly humbling but it's also for me an opportunity to just hang out with people
Sure.
who I deeply respect. And so I want to thank you for that. A couple things before we wrap things up in terms of logistics. Registration is, I would look for a 3-day conference, 2.5 days, if you will. $295 is very reasonable. You have a special offer for members of Civil War roundtables if they want to somehow
Hmm.
organize in these last few weeks and take advantage of this. But this is also something to think about for next year. And you already have a page, I think, devoted to this on the website, if I remember correctly.
For 2027.
Yeah, nothing yet, or should we stay
Yeah, I think
tuned?
I'm not sure if I made it public or not, but maybe
Okay.
now I'm going to go look because you piqued my interest.
I
But yeah, I have already lined up a few people for next year. Dana
uh,
Shove,
right.
you know Dana,
Yeah. No, it's not up
Li-
yet, just to confirm. So
and
good.
Elizabeth Varon, who
Liz is great.
with
And
with
Dana.
her Longstreet biography.
Yeah,
She'll be out there,
she's
uh,
wonderful.
and many more surprises
Good.
to come.
Good.
But yeah, 295 for the whole weekend. The lodging is not included, typically isn't, and food. So people, because we have selected a nice venue right on the historic Custom House Plaza in Monterey, which is kind of ground zero for Euro American
Wow.
history in California. Uh, we have a great little theater, as you mentioned, and people can control or mitigate their other expenses, food and lodging, by staying in one of the innumerable hotels or motels that populate the Monterey Peninsula, which is a
Yeah.
vacation destination.
Yeah.
And food, I don't know if you got in a car and drove for it last year, but you
Yeah,
can
some great restaurants. Yeah, some great
walk to the
restaurants.
old Fisherman's Wharf or
Yeah.
downtown from the venue.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Gordon introduced me to a wonderful vegetarian restaurant. We went there, I
oh,
think, every
good.
every night. So
In Pacific Grove,
I believe so.
nearby. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
it's a nice getaway there, and you can find some free time to explore a little bit. It's
absolutely.
a pretty wonderful place.
And let's not
The
forget, David, the sea lions, right?
Yes.
There are sea lions. I was pleasantly surprised last year on an early morning walk. So,
You went along the
oh
the
yeah,
shoreline there?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It was great. It was
Yeah,
great.
there's Cannery Row and all the Steinbeck themed things. If there are people are driving, they can get down. They've opened up Highway 1 again now after the latest landslide. It gets closed quite often down along Big Sur, and redwood trees,
No,
lots to look at. But
no.
the Custom House, which is still there right outside the Stanton Theater where we'll be,
Yeah.
is the oldest public building, government building in California. And Lincoln's custom collector, customs collector, was stationed there. So
Huh.
he was appointed by Lincoln, and there's
Hmm.
some other little tie-ins there. So it's
Right.
not entirely removed from the Civil War. As you
No,
know, lots of Civil War notables came through
absolutely.
California and
Absolutely.
Monterey too.
Absolutely.
But I hope we'll see everybody out there. I'm looking
Absolutely.
forward to seeing you again.
Same here,
So
David.
so glad you're making the trip.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I want to thank you for spending a little bit of time to talk about the conference and hopefully, there'll be people out there who take us up on this and show up. If not this year, perhaps next year, one of your tours. David,
Yeah.
I want to thank you also just for the work that you do. I mean, it's really important to keep this history
Well, thank you.
alive, and you're doing important work. So
I
thanks again.
appreciate that. Thanks, Kevin.